Hi, this is Guy Levine from Return on Digital, which is our brand new brand, and we launched it only last week. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I think my Twitter ID is somewhere around here. Anyway, I'm live from my hotel room at SES, which is a massive search conference. We're all in London. I've got some of the senior team with me. Basically, we all come to SES so that we can keep up to date with what's going on, meet old friends, and basically learn some strategies that will keep our clients going strong in the digital area. So, what did we look at today? I think the first biggest change that we saw this year was there was a really big focus on analytics, and that's basically all looking at the numbers behind the site. I think, you know, every year we've come there, talked about new and innovative ways of driving traffic to a website. I think now as the industry is maturing, people are looking at, right, well, we can get all these ways of driving people to the site, but how are we going to monetize and track them? And we had one speaker, first speaker of the day, Avnish Kaushik, who was fantastic, really passionate, and kind of what he was talking about is one of the biggest used terms in analytics is bounce rate. And what he was saying is bounce rate, and a great way to describe it is when people come to your site, puke and leave. They come, they don't find what they want, they don't click, they don't interact, so they just leave. So definitely it's something that we look at within the content on our client's site. But also if you've just got analytics on your site, definitely have a look at them and see all about them. I think the other thing that was spoken about is attribution. So kind of what happens when you're doing lots of different marketing. What happens when you're advertising on Yahoo, when you're advertising on Google, maybe when you're doing some affiliates, some social networking. You know, the potential clients that come to your site might have seen tons of those things, but how do you decide which one actually generated the sale? I think the general consensus is to just count the last one is not very good, and the other general consensus to just count the first one is not very good. So I think there's a way of coming up with a value for each of them. And actually, the truth is no one's quite sure how to do it. And I think as analytics progress, it's going to actually become much easier to do. And then finally, the most interesting thing that I got was on looking at Google Analytics data and then segmenting the actual information. So on one side of it, you've got your brand searches, and then on the other side of it, you've got your term searchers. So on one side you've got the people who look for you by either company name or by your name, and on the other side you've got for people who are looking for what your product actually does. And I think the greatest thing we've got to make sure we do on the SME side of the market is make sure that people are coming to your site that have never heard of you before, and on the large side, on the bigger companies, we've got to look for an increase in brand searches. So as a first for me, we're going to introduce one of the senior team on this video. Dave's really nervous, and I've implemented a no editing policy, even though I fluffed the first one and decided to do it again. So I'm going to hand over to Dave in 2 seconds, and then he's going to tell you what his highlights were as well.
Hello, I'm Dave Ashworth from Return on Digital. As Guy said, I'm here to tell you what my highlights of day one were. And like Guy said, echo his sentiments. Avinash, great start to the day. Really enthusiastic talk on analytics, which set the scene for the whole day. The thing I picked up from him was Google search-based keyword tool. None of us had heard of that. I think quite a few people in the room hadn't heard of that. And we're going to be looking that one up soon. Following on with the theme of analytics, Tammy Daly from Acronym. She gave a really good tips on making the most of your analytics, taking it to the next level, making more of it in both a proactive and reactive sense, so like looking at your stats and then, you know, making predictions and trends from that. And then finally, I thought the best one of the day was Richard at SEO Gadget, who was part of the Under the Hood session, and he gave us, from a point of view of the cheap flight sector, he gave us a good advice on how to map your keywords to your site structure, starting with the most generic keywords on the home page and then filtering these down and across the site to get more long tail keywords. Yeah, no, a really good day. Never been to one of these conferences before. I've done programming conferences, but this is a different kettle of fish, far more interesting, and looking forward to tomorrow.
So that was Dave's first time on video, and we all think he did really well, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. So again, if you want to follow us on Twitter, somewhere down there at Guy Levine, visit the website. If you want to say that you think that this video is great, link to our blog post, and we look forward to updating you with what's going on tomorrow. Cheers.